As I commit my words to parchment, I reflect on how many years have brought me here. Wind blows. So, is this how my optimal performance is to be registered?
Wiggle time is here! Now to you down-to-the-earth kind of people out there, you're probably thinking to yourself, why is this very good fellow saying wiggle time is here and silly things like that? I'll tell you exactly why. It's because this week I'm looking at the Screeching Weasel album that's called Wiggle. Okay, so let's take a look at the front cover. This is the re-release version, which has a nice bright yellow cover with the name of the band across the top. Here on the obverse of the cover, there's a fellow here strapped to what looks like a dangerous bunch of dynamite, and at the bottom the word Wiggle, denoting the name of the album. Now for some more information about the cover artwork, I'm going to pass you over to the John Jughead from Screeching Weasel for some information.
The cover of Wiggle, this period of the band, Ben was pretty much coming up with the covers himself, and it was him and Christopher Applegren from Lookout were basically finding what do you call that? Just artwork that you find for free. I forgot the word. Anyway. Audience fill in blank here. So this artwork was actually something that already existed. It's found artwork, but it really sort of related to the ideas of the songs of anxiety and the idea of wiggle, of trying to wiggle your way out of something or being restrained and constrained. So that being roped to a stick, a big patch pile, a big round grouping of dynamite.
And onto the back of the sleeve we have again the dynamite shape and the track listings, which go from the first song on the top all the way down to the last song at the bottom. And here Monona Records, 1992 and 2017 being the years of the record from its original recording to its final release. Great information. And looking on the spine, Wiggle. Let's take a look inside. Oh, it's a gatefold, so there's no need for one of those pesky inserts. It's all included on the big inside cover area. Look at that. Isn't that pleasant? We have all of the words from the songs here. What a bunch of craftsmanship we have. Here we have some old band pictures of the people. You can see John Jughead, Dan Vapid. We've got Dan Panic, Ben Weasel of course, and Johnny Personality, the people who played on the album. We have a blurb of information here, a blurb by some kind of musical expert. And some flyers down the side. Overall, it's a nice package. It's a nice design. This is lovely. You can pick this up at the Screeching Weasel Kings Road website now. It's available on a couple of colours. And let's have a look at the record within. After all, that's the only thing I'm interested in here. If the entire sleeve burnt to bits right now, would I shed a tear? Would I go right into my mother? Would I write to my local council to tell them about the dangers of fire? Oh, that was a bit tricky to get out. It was probably stuck in by some kind of slug or sticky adhesive creature. I've now got the record itself, which is encased in a traditional white in the sleeve, and the record inside is yellow, like the yellow brains of a liquid brick. Look at this. We have Screeching Weasel, Wiggle, side 2, Maloney Records and track listing, 7 tracks, and on the other side also 7 tracks, which of course totals 12 tracks, which of course totals 14 tracks. Yes, that was it. Let's take a listen to side 1 to see if it gives us the traditional Screeching Weasel music that we'd assume to get from the early 1990s. A lovely period in time. I wish I was alive in the early 1990s, but unfortunately I skipped that time. I was alive from about the late 70s up until 1988, and then I continued in about 1996, so that's a big shame. But if I was alive in this period, I probably would have checked this out at the time. Let's take a listen now. To see if it's any good, that's why. I can't wait to have a little listen to see if it's all it's cracked up to be. What a treat, what a good album. I'm very happy with Wheel. It's a nice slice of the early 90s injected into my ears using a special device, stereo speaker system, which will then help me to enjoy, to release the endorphins, and the neurons in my mind are firing, they're releasing little bits of energy throughout my body, which makes me want to get up and dance. Makes me want to get my young children and just throw them out the window. I never want to see you again, kids. All I want to do is listen to this album over and over until I don't listen to it no more. So I'm going to move on to side 2 to see if that's nice too. It is nice too. Side 2 is nice too. Side 2 has some superb songs, including one of my very favourite Screeching Weasel songs of all time, which is She's Got a Problem With Her Uterus. A very good song. I like it very much. I do tend to sing it around the house a lot, which the wife doesn't like very much, but I do. I tend to do that. So for some more information on this album, which is starting to give me a Stockholm syndrome, for some more information on this album, I'm going to pass you back to John Jughead.
I think the album was kind of explosive in a way too, even though we worked really too hard on it and we did way too many mixings of it. So I think we killed a little bit of the really natural live sound that we were going for, but I'm actually really proud of it.
So for some more information on this album, John, could you tell me about some of the tracks which stand out to you, please, sir?
The songs that I'm most happy with, I could divide that into songs that I think are some of Ben's better great songs, and then there's also songs that were fun to actually rehearse and to record. Because at that time, I talk about this often, but Ben wasn't playing an instrument, so he would basically write the foundations of a lot of the songs, introduce them to us at a rehearsal in my basement in Logan Square, and then he would leave, and then me and Johnny Personality and Dan Vapid and Dan Panic would work on the songs. And while we were doing that, we would often just jam for hours, which I never did in my life before or after. But for some reason, with that grouping of people, it was just a lot of fun just to jam. And that's how we created some of my favorites, which is Automatic Rejector from that. And Sad Little Girl we created that way too. It isn't my favorite, but I really do like the way that song feels. It has sort of a Devo-esque feel to it. And me and Vapid listened to a lot of Devo. I mean, a lot of the 80s kids did back then. So some of my favorites are Hanging Around. That's one of the things I'm talking about. Me and Dan created the beginning based on sort of a cheap trick way of introducing a song. Sometimes they would have like a an intro instrumental and then burst into the song. So that's one of my favorites. One Step Beyond is another favorite of mine because of the weird guitar tone I got. For some reason, when I pull, I don't even understand guitars enough to know this, but when you pull out his volume on the West tone, it would create this really tangy, almost metallic sound. And I really, really liked that sound, and the sort of strange, weak, but also odd and unique muting sound it gave me on the guitar. So I really appreciate that. Some of the best writing of Vapid was I Was a High School Psychopath. I still play that today with different bands, and Vapid still likes to play that one too. There's a lot of really good songs on this album. It's All in My Head is maybe one of my favorites. It's just some great writing by Ben and the whole feel of the song. And he was having a difficult time trying to decide if he was going to be like a very rough singing vocalist on this record, or whether he was going to try to, sing more properly singing. And he went back and forth, and it got really kind of he got really kind of heady about the whole thing. But this song, It's All in My Head, ergo being heady, really sort of fits perfectly into what we were dealing with then, and what this record is about in Ben's mind and in his writing. I can't put words in his mouth, but it seems like that's a good representation of Wiggle.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
John is a very nice fellow, as you can probably tell, and he's recently working on his newer band, which is called Even in Blackouts, and you can check out some of the albums that he has with that band, which are phenomenal. Even in Blackouts, check it out. There we go. So Wiggle, should you check out Wiggle? Yeah, if you like pop punk, definitely, don't skip it. Go and grab it, especially now because it's so easily available. It might not be so easily available in the future. Do you understand? You're getting a grip on reality, which I regularly have. I don't have a grip on reality all the time, I just regularly have a grip on reality. There's spaces in between where I've got no idea what the hell is going on. A train could go past, I don't know if it's a tree or a lollipop or a train, I've got no idea. Reality is just out the window sometimes. But thanks ever so much for watching my very good video. Look after yourself. Look after the pine needles, which might fall off the trees and get stuck in your eyes. They were once alive too, so appreciate them. And I'll see you next week, kids. Bye. Bye.
Ever so much for watching my very good video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Very Good channel and come back next week for another very good video. A video to watch. Now, it's a good video.